Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Professional Learning Day. I'm Dr. Palmer, and I'm super excited to have you here as we embark on this journey of learning, growth, and collaboration together. Before we dive into the content of the day, I'd like to share some context about how we got to where we are with our instructional model. Of course, our mission, every student, every day success, is what resonates with all of us as we think about what it is we want for our students, and that's why we come to work every day. In our vision, our world is ever changing, and we know that because of that world ever changing, that we also have to change along with our students to make sure that we are providing the best possible education for them to thrive in this ever-changing world. Therefore, we are here for some professional learning. So as you know, we as a district, we have prioritized instruction. We want highly effective instruction for all of our students, and that can't happen if we're not collaborating and working together within our PLCs to ensure that we are making progress towards those essential standards. And then, of course, the system of positive supports, which creates those conditions for learning for all of our students to learn and grow towards those desired outcomes. So that's student success. How did we get to where we are with our instructional model? Well, it's really based on those high impact research strategies that John Hattie has put together. That led into Dr. Marzano took those and said, hey, there's a lot there. How do we refine that and make sure that we are providing some really specific and intentional guidance to our teachers and our staff about what is really critical to see happening in the classrooms. And it's broken down then by your domains around planning, the instruction, conditions for learning, and professional responsibilities. And of course, that still seems like a lot. So as a district, we've refined that even further. And we said, here are the things that are most critical. And we've built those into our district instructional model. Many of you know this as the Trendwalk tool. And so the Trendwalk tool is just the tool in which we are actually monitoring and analyzing how are we doing towards the implementation of those high leverage instructional strategies in the classroom. So those are the things that we want to see across all of our classrooms and all of our schools, because these are the things that have been proven over and over to get student impact results. So from there, obviously these are just the strategies that we've outlined that we deem important and critical, but what happens in the classroom is where the real magic takes place with our students. So I am sharing just an example from a classroom this last week where two teachers actually pulled in and said, hey, here's the target, here's what our kids need to know and be able to do. And it made it really visible to students. So it was posted in the classroom. The students knew exactly what they needed to know and be able to do. And then the teachers and the students were able to monitor their progress towards those desired outcomes. So super easy way, but making it visible and kids being able to monitor the progress as well. So the trend walks that we do with your building principals or your building leadership teams is really a powerful tool for us. It does allow us to gather that valuable data on those classroom practices. It helps us identify those trends and evaluate those really with our desired outcome to improve student learning. So what do we do with the data? Obviously, just like you're taking assessment data from your students, we are looking at that data to see, is our curriculum being implemented in a way that is getting us the outcomes? Do we need to revisit that with task force? Do we need to revisit that? Do we need to look at certain grade levels or certain subject areas to make sure that our teachers, that you are getting what you need in order to serve students best? And then what's the best way to teach it? As we're doing these walks, we're seeing amazing things happen across the district. You're all doing great work in implementing these teaching standards, and we're seeing the learning happening in the classrooms. So as we identify those things, we want to make sure and pull those out. We want to share them, because if we can elevate each other in this process, think about the amazing learning that can happen with our students. And then, of course, we are able to know what students are learning based on the questions that we ask them. What's the feedback being given in the classroom? How often do students have the opportunities to really respond to that learning? And that just gives us the insight into like what's working and what's not working and how our students learning. So the real magic happens in the response. The data we gather really empowers us to make those informed decisions. And at the district level, it's with what's the professional learning need to look and sound like? What support do schools need? We want to be partners in this process. So what do our fall trends tell us? Well, that is in a minute. You're going to have the opportunity to actually see some of that data and review and process yourselves what might be some potential next steps. So you're not going to want to miss this. With that, I just want to conclude with a quote from the L4L team. Trendwalks aren't just about collecting data. They're about using the data to drive continuous improvement. They're about working together. We are partners in this work. We want to learn from you. We want to learn and grow from each other. and we want to ensure that every student in our district receives the best possible education. So with that, I want to thank you so much for investing in your professional growth, for elevating the growth of others, and for believing that our kids can. Thank you so much for your time, and have an awesome day.